There we go. Hey, so I fixed it. It was my other audio interface. It just decided that it will never again use 48 volts. So we're back, and I actually have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I just felt like right now would be a good time to turn on the camera and talk till I get bored. Welcome back to Talking Till I Get Bored. I still have the same fuck-ass pimple on my face. It's not even like a pimple anymore, it's just, it's just like a scab. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. I wrote down some episode ideas, and this is the second installment, which is about the fear of being perceived and talking about digital footprints and why I've started to decide posting videos on the internet. Basically, some context, right? For a while, I'll leave it be. For a while, I have been quite fearful of the internet ecosystem and how the world moves in regards to people we idolize and just public figures in general. And even my own dad has had, like, and I'm not talking about being canceled, I'm talking about hate in general, I'm talking about being canceled, I'm talking about just the general ease with which the world moves forward in hating on people or causing problems via the internet. And so for a while I was like, I don't want a digital footprint. I don't want anyone to know. It's gonna start to snap, crackle, pop again. Guys, I'm gonna have to switch to my computer microphone again. Okay, well, I think it's either I need a new mic or, like, both of my interfaces cause issues in different ways. Hold up. Getting back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by more microphone silly situation. I, for a very long time, was very embarrassed of my interests, and I didn't want any evidence of who I was, because I was very ashamed of the teenage girl within me. And I mean, we've all said and done stupid things as teenagers, but now it's like all on the internet, and so I think that's horrifying. And I am very, like, I don't think canceling really works at all. We've all seen it. It's not that I'm afraid of canceling. It's more so that I was really kind of I was afraid of judgment, you know? So I think this is good for me now because I've gotten to a point where I don't care. I think a lot of the reasons why I was like, I don't want a digital footprint, I don't want any evidence of me as a teenager, is because I felt like it was less of a highlight reel and more of like an embarrassing part of myself that I had to hide. 'Cause I feel like people just make fun of people's interests a lot on the internet. And so there was just something about being passionate about something that was maybe really girly or really teenagery and not like mature or of a grown woman. You know, like I was so embarrassed for a long time. I was like, all of my accounts, like nothing can have my name on it because no one can know that I'm reading fan fiction. Girl, we know you're reading fan fiction. You're a 15-year-old. Get over it. You know what I mean? I think there's a very ingrained sense of shame in it, not even just because of the internet and how it moves, because in the internet there's a lot more communities, but I think I guess the world is just unkind to young girls in a lot of ways. And growing up in Puerto Rico, the 2 years that I was not homeschooled in middle school were so awful. And it felt like everyone in my class hated me to some extent. A lot, most of them didn't, but there was a couple key people that were just really mean. And so I was like, I can't give them any cannon fodder. You know what I mean? Like, is that, am I using that correctly? Hold on. Yes. Well, kind of. Anyway, yeah, okay. I used it in the rare sense of the word according to Google. Not Google Gemini, not the AI, the Merriam-Webster. Thank you. Moving on. Or going back to what I was saying. It was always the whole like shut up, women aren't funny, or like, oh, that's so lame, or that's so gay, because they loved that one. They loved calling things gay. I do sometimes as like a joke, because I like women, and so it's like I love making fun of the straight guys that are 24 and still saying that. Like, bro, that's so gay. Okay, so are you. Get on your knees, bro. Come on. Um, I'm gonna cut that out. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I suppose the reason why I'm doing this is because I have always, when I was a little kid, I grew up watching YouTube. I was born in 2004. I was kind of YouTube before it was brain rot era. Like, I watched Superwoman and William Ray Johnson. Is that his name? One time when I was like 10, I got a video copyright struck by William Ray Johnson. Ray William Johnson. That was his name. Ray William Johnson. I got like a video taken down by Ray William Johnson or copyright struck because it was me at like 10 or 8 years old doing a reaction video to one of the videos that he would post. I don't even remember. It was like random internet news or something. Um I was the Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star beauty guru era. That's when things began to go downhill really quick. But I grew up like wanting, I've had so many different iterations of my YouTube content. I wanted to be a gaming YouTuber when I was younger, a Minecraft YouTuber. I wanted to be a Littlest Pet Shop YouTuber. I was so about Littlest Pet Shop when I was a little girl. You could not tell me. I mean, you can't tell me shit about Littlest Pet Shop. They had some of the best series on YouTube. These girls were cooking with the content, okay? And so I it was always like a dream of mine to post things to the internet, and I think at some point I just was so scared of the way that people perceived me. There was such a long time in my life where I was so worried about people in my life and what they thought of me. Which the only people that matters with to me personally now is my family, and not even everyone in my family. Keep in mind, when I say family, I mean like immediate family. Like mom, sister. That's basically it. I mean, it's fucking, you know. So I think I mean, even just posting the one video has felt very freeing because I've always wanted to do this, guys. I've always low key wanted to have a podcast. I've always wanted to have just a little video diary of any sorts, of a vlog, ever since I was young. And so at some point, I think the world just kind of broke that down or chipped away at my self-confidence to the point where I was like, I can't be on the internet posting things about myself. That's ludicrous. But now I'm here. Because now I'm a fully well, I still don't have my frontal lobe fully developed. That's going to take a couple more years. But now I'm like a person. I'm like a fully formed person almost. I've paid taxes. I do pay my taxes. Let it be known, IRS, I have paid my taxes on time, dutifully, for the last couple of years. I have had many a job. I've lived by myself in several parts of the world. And so I think there's just so many embarrassing, stupid things that I've done in my life because I've started doing it since such a young age. Like, I moved out at 17. I moved to Los Angeles at 17 on a whim. I went to visit for 2 weeks, and I was like, man, everyone's telling me I should stay. Like, everyone really vibes with me. That was the first red flag. Girl, these people don't know you. What do they know about whether or not you'll like LA? I ended up in friggin' Hollywood, which is a terrible place to live. Never live in Hollywood. It sucked. But, I made so many mistakes. Oh my god. Things that are just genuinely so... Can you shut up? Jesus, I'm podcasting. Guys. Anyway. I did so much stupid, embarrassing shit. Oh my god. So it's like... things that I would repeat only if it was for a stand-up comedy set. And I am not a stand-up comedian, so that won't be happening. But I do kind of like... everything in my life shifted in terms of owning myself as a person and my experiences and my self-confidence and being perceived in different ways. Because ultimately, I know that I have no control over that. Regardless of whether or not I share these stories, people are going to like me or they're going to dislike me, and that's their prerogative, okay? But it all shifted when I started finding these things to be really funny. Because they are. Because they are. I was about to say one of them. Like, what do you mean I can't have an account at Chase Bank because I tried selling feet pics to make money and I cashed a bad check? See what I mean, though? That's fucking hysterical! Like, what are you talking about? That is Brittany broski levels of lore. One last thing I forgot to mention when I was recording this, all in one go, as I tend to do. I accessed my old Tumblr the other day. I went through my liked posts. Fundamentally different person. Fundamentally different person. I don't know her. I don't know who she is. I don't know who she was. I have a feeling my account got hacked at some point and I just didn't notice because there were so many like posts in a language that I just don't even know. So they're in multiple different languages that I don't read or write or understand. So I'm gonna have the most insane mom lore, and I'm not gonna drop it till they're like in their late 20s, early 30s. And I'm gonna say, yeah, when I was younger, I tried selling feet pics and I cashed a bad check, and so Chase was like, we're closing your account. And then I had to fight with them for like 3 months to get my money that was like my money. That was not bad check money. It was like actual money that I had to my name and earned. And it was just such a long journey. Oh my god, am I leaving that in? I probably am. Because, like, fucking hysterical. Actually insane that I would do that. That was my first train of thought I was like, I'm legal now. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sell pictures of my feet on the internet, because that's gonna make bank. No, it's not. You know the amount of marketing you gotta put into that? I feel like being a foot fetish content creator has to be in line with being just a general, like, OnlyFans girly, in the sense of you gotta market it, you gotta know your audience. You really have to pick out your niche. It's like, do you want your toes painted? Do you want your toes to be gross? Some people are into grimy feet. Again, their prerogative. That's the phrase of the episode, their prerogative. I was not going to talk about this, but here we are. So essentially I'm doing this little YouTube diary video talk series because I don't care anymore. Yay! Because I have cool friends also that have built up my self-esteem to the point where they just like accept me for all of the silly things that they understand that an integral part of me is my lore. I would not be who I am today if I hadn't gone through that. So this is real, this is me, I don't actually know any other part of that song, by the way. If I've ever sung that song to you, personally, in public or otherwise, don't know why that matters. If I ever sang that song, I don't know the rest of it. I don't know, I've never seen any of the High School Musicals. My sisters are millennials, they're about 10 to 8 years older than me. I watched Rent, I grew up on a lot of their music. I have all the white girl bangers. But High School Musical, Disney was never really my thing. I was more of a Nickelodeon kid. I was an iCarly, a YouTube kid also, but I was like a Nick Jr. kid. I was a Dora, a Wow Wow Wubsy kid, if you will. Um, so I don't know. I feel like I need to come out and say that and confess to the world that I don't actually know anything about High School Musical. I think my friends tried to make me watch it one time. I was hanging out with them and they started playing it and I said, "Fuck no, turn this shit off. I feel like I'm in a fever dream. I can't do it." I just couldn't do it. Was it Zac Efron? Zac Efron young? But like the plot of how he and his shardy I wanted to say shoddy, but then I wanted to say shorty as like a joke, and that became shardy. Him and his bae, him and the huz. If you watched the last episode, you'll understand why I'm saying the huz now. I the way they meet is so utterly stupid, and I couldn't get past the first 3 minutes. I'm not even kidding. I was like, turn this off, we're not finishing this, I can't do it. And they were like, that's High School Musical, I mean, that's like the whole bit. And I said, no, I'm not with the bit. Actually, I'm not in support of the bit. And then that would be my public statement, and then my campaign manager would have to do damage control and be like, guys, she's kidding. You have to come out and make a statement on Twitter and say that you actually are for the bit. And I'd be like, fine. And then I'd go on Twitter and I'd be like, hey guys, I just really wanted to apologize for my words earlier. I didn't mean it. Of course, I'm a lover of the bit. Always have been, always will be. Amen. What am I saying? I haven't had breakfast. It's 10:28 a.m. I decided to hop on here at 10 a.m. with my chest fully talking about all those silly things. I could dedicate a whole video to just all of the dumb, reckless things that I did as a newly 18-year-old in Los Angeles. There is too many things to count. And to the people that were in my life at that time, witnessing me go through with this, who were low-key calling me out for it, but also not really. Seba was calling me out for it. But like, thank you for putting up with that. Thank you for putting up with me. Because I was crazy. Oh my god. I think it's because I was always such a goody two-shoes kid. And so like then I just was like, no. I was also around a bunch of crazy people that really were like wannabe pop star, rock star musicians. And so that was their prerogative. It's not that funny, Sato. Anyway, so I guess that's why I'm doing this. The long and short of it, y'all rock with my tattoo. Y'all rock with my tattoo. I'm gonna say it again. Y'all rock with my tattoo. Yeah, thought so. I've what am I saying? I have a deck of tarot cards here, the Rider-Waite deck. Got my first Rider-Waite deck, and I used to have like a little mini deck. It's called the Tarot of Pagan Cats, and it's really cute. They're really cute. All the illustrations are just cats, and there's some dogs in there. There's a crawfish too for the moon card. Don't ask me why. It just that's like this. That's like that here too. But now I can't. I tried shuffling the mini deck yesterday, and I was like, this is awful. I at first these were too big for my hands because they're about the size of the box. And then now I feel more comfortable shuffling these guys. They feel more stable somehow. I just can't get a good grip on the mini cards. Like, they're so... Is that it for this episode? I feel like I said all I needed to say. I feel like We touched on a lot of really good bases. High School Musical, the fact that I haven't seen it, so I'm a poser. My public apology to all the millennials out there. Um, Feet pics, LA, and my fear of being perceived, and how I no longer possess one. Because I was reminded, my mom was talking to me the other day, and she was just saying that my sister used to be so in awe of how I had no sense of foolishness or ridicule. You know what? As a kid, she was like, she just gets up there and does whatever. She does not care. She has no sense. Sentido del ridículo in Spanish is like the sense of being ridiculous. I had no sense of being ridiculous, and you know what? I don't plan on continuing to cultivate a sense of the ridiculous. Because you know what I think is so lame that people do nowadays? Tear people down for their interests. It's what I was saying earlier. Like, I feel like, I don't know, people are made so uncomfortable by things that they're not interested in or that are out of the box. And I've never not been myself, and I'm never not going to be myself because I am physically incapable of it. It is actually, I've tried in the past, as a teenager, you always want to change to be like the people that you like, but I just could never do it. Even if it meant having friends versus having no friends, I just couldn't. I couldn't not be myself. And so I think it is cool that we're coming back into a phase culturally, at least here in the West, where it's kind of cool to try again and to have interests and have hobbies. Because the cool kids are so boring. The mean girls, the whole, like, that whole phenomena of just being this or just being that. Bitch, I contain multitudes. And there's nothing lamer than hating on someone for something they like. Something that brings them joy. Unless they like things that harm other people, okay? I'm not gonna be like, yes, cheer on the serial killers, cheer on the diddlers. No, of course not. But I feel like that doesn't even need to be said. Like, I don't even need to point that out. That's just like a given. So, anyway, I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you all so much for watching. I've shared a little bit more of myself in this episode than I meant to, and I think that's pretty cool. So, I will see you whenever I decide to post the next one. Bye!